Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. Today's Wednesday, October 30th. You know what that means? It's Ash Wednesdays. It's New Comic Book Day. Happy New Comic Book Day to everyone. Hope you got some good comics. Joining me today, as always, is Stan the Man over there and his pal Forky. My pal Forky, your pal Forky, everyone's pal. He's resident mascot, intern to the channel, resident celebrity, expert on all things trash. And that's my comic book box that has the Krakoan language code. And this is my box of burger. It's a bigger box today. You see the scale. I don't know why they gave me a big box. Well, I kind of do, because I got a French fry today. But it should all fit in the normal box. I don't know why they gave me this big one. Maybe they're out of small boxes. Who knows? But let's get into the unboxing. First, remember, kids, always show your receipts. Hunter Rowe was the cashier today. Look at that, Hunter Rowe. That's a name. Gotta write that down into my bank of names to use for characters in the future. So that's my order. So you can see here, animal fry. For those of you that don't believe, I've talked about animal French fry. Where is it? Right there. It's a real thing. So I'm not tricking anyone. I'm not trying to get you to go to In-N-Out and embarrass yourself by ordering something that doesn't exist. It's real, and you're going to see today. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Oh, see, they put it in a small box, in a big box. I'm going to dig into that. Look at this picture. Perfect burger. That is incredible. Got an extra side of spread. You can order spread on the side. Their spread is bomb. If you think it's just Thousand Island, you're wrong. That's not the case. So I'm going to devour this because French fries are not good cold, and we're going to get into some comics. All right. Thank you so much for indulging me while I eat my In-N-Out burger week after week. It's something I've thought about taking out of my videos, but it's just sort of become this staple, and it's just been this long time thing that's I don't know, it's almost like the personality of the channel now. And if you're new to the channel and you're like, why is this idiot putting a burger in a stupid video? That's this why. It's kind of a signature thing, and I've done videos without it, and people are like, what's going on? Where's the burger? So that's the deal. And, it's part of my tradition. For those of you who maybe this is the first time you've watched the show, In-N-Out's, one of my favorite places to eat. So on Wednesday, I get myself a burger every week. And it's just I go to the comic book store, grab a burger, and come home, then shoot my video. And it's just part of the routine. I really enjoy it. And this is something I share with you guys now. If you guys have any routines yourself, share them with me in the comments. I'd like to know what anyone else does. Thing about comic books is it's more than just reading books. I don't know if you can hear that jingling in the back. That's my dog scratching her neck and jingling her dog tags. I don't know what it is about dogs when you shoot videos. They'll sit there and she's sleeping all day long. And, as soon as I start doing something, it's like, oh, gotta get up, gotta do stuff. I don't know if it's just they sense activity, what the deal is, but so what was I saying? Oh yeah, about rituals. So I call today Lazy Comic Book Day because I wasn't feeling it. I get up early. I try to at least get down to the store. My store opens at 10. I usually get there around sometime between 10 and 10:30. If there's something important coming out that I might feel will sell out or something, I'll get down there at store opening. Today, man, I just kept snoozing. I was like, because I get up about 8:30 or 9 on those days, and I was just like, I'm just gonna snooze and snooze and snooze. I just did not feel like I just was having one of those days I didn't want to get out of bed. And come around 11 o'clock, I was like, this is too much. I got to get up, get showered, get going. So I ended up getting to this comic book store afternoon. Really, Doug? I get to the comic book store afternoon, and I don't even know why. I guess I wasn't feeling it. Today was a really slow day. It's a week 5, so hardly any good issues came out. And I got to be honest with you, I'm having. Seriously, dog, come on. I'm having I don't want to say like depressive moment, but it kind of feels like that. It's like a little bit of downer. Comics, like I was saying earlier, are meant to be, they're meant to be read and enjoyed. But for me, the love of comics is always extended beyond the book. It's the reason I do this channel. It's the social aspect of comics. Now, you may say, oh, you don't need to be social, read comics. And there's true. I mean, there's tons of people who are introverts and maybe socially inept, don't have any friends or whatever, and they just go buy their books and they read them, and that's their livelihood, and not their livelihood, but their life, and they get along fine. But I need that social interaction, and comics for me has always been that. It's always been about interacting with like-minded people, sharing your stories, sharing what you got out of the stories that you read, how it impacted you, how it made you feel, talking to other people like you guys, seeing how it affected you, because we're all different. We all have different life experiences, and because of those life experiences and because of those different, outlooks on life that we have, we don't see the same thing. We can read the same comic and walk away with 2 completely different takes. So lately, I've been feeling a little bit down because I find myself in a weird position. I feel the comic book community as it is, it's a microcosm of the greater social construct of America, which is the country I live in. If anyone who's non-American listening, just to frame a reference, I feel like we've become super, super divided, extremely polarized on everything. I mean, when it comes to politics, people are either just seem to be complete far left, just crazy socialist, communism, just enact complete government tyranny, or there's the people who are against that, who are just like, oh, down with all those people, blah, 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 and just be the complete opposite. There's no middle ground anymore. And that's reflective in the comic books too. And I'm not even talking in a political sense. I'm just talking about in how you view the industry and the hobby and the medium. There are people who will sit there and praise, say I'll use Brian Michael Bendis as an example. He's Superman, he's doing the greatest stuff, and it's Legion, and just gobble it down. And anything Bendis does is just gold, just pure magic. Literally, he's the goose that's laying golden eggs. He can do no wrong. And then you've got the other side, and I found myself being kind of on this side in particular with Bendis, just being like, this is garbage. I mean, these books are awful. If you watched my last couple videos on Action Comics and Superman, I mean, he's just sinking to all new lows. It's just atrocious how bad. And I'm not talking about political ideology here. I'm just talking about skill at your job, which is to write comics. He is phoning in garbage. He's just vomiting out nonsense and presenting it and stamping his name on it, and everyone's just afraid to call him out because he's Brian Michael Bendis. It's like, he's a 2-time Writer of the Year award, from... It's like, those Daredevil days are 20 years gone. We need to be able to call a spade. And this industry nowadays is run by people who don't even understand comics. The editors at Marvel and DC, for the most part, don't understand or even read the comics that they edit. And Bendis signed an agreement. He's not edited. So, he can just do whatever they want, and they just look at it, and they don't have critical view. They don't have enough understanding of the medium to look at it and even know that it's crap, much less the wherewithal or the audacity to dare criticize the great Brian Michael Bendis, right? So we just keep getting this garbage. Now, like I said, there's the one side that are just like, oh, it's great, it's fantastic, everything is awesome. It's like Female Furies, oh, it's the best, New Gods material to come out, even better than Kirby. It's like, what? And then you've got the other side, rightly so, is like, this is a dumpster fire, that's... and that's warranted. No, but the problem is when you take that a step further. And instead of just having that mindset on a specific comic, you have it on an entire industry, an entire hobby, an entire community. So then you have the people that are like, comics are great. Everything is great. No matter who writes it or draws it, it's just awesome. And if you don't like it, it's because something is wrong with you. Then you've got the other side that's just like, comics are dead. It's run by a bunch of idiots. There's no good comics anymore. There haven't been good comics in a decade. It's all just trash. And it's the complete polar opposite. Now, I understand that jaded, cynical view. I do. But it's wrong. Then there's people like me who try to be in the middle. And I try to see the positive with the negative. I try to give credit where credit's due. And I also want to call a spade a spade. But that doesn't make me very many friends or allies. Because inevitably, the people I associate with tend to be on one side or the other. And I piss both of them off. The people that are just, I love comics. And then I'm like, no, your Bendis comics are shit. Well, screw you, Ash. I don't want to talk to you anymore. All right. And then there's the other people that are, just Batman sucks. There's no such thing as good Batman. King's destroyed Batman. DC hasn't made a good Batman title in forever. And I'm like, well, you got Tomasi on Detective Comics. He's doing great. You got Batman, Curse of the White Knight. It's phenomenal. Scott Snyder's doing the Dark... Batman versus Super. Shut up, Ash. Quit defending DC. You're just a shill. And I'm just like, oh, God. Like... For a while, you take it, and it's just like, whatever, I guess. People have opinions. But I'm actually being kind of nice about my descriptions here. People have treated me rather poorly. Basically, just really just acted mean towards me. And I'm not here to be a pity story here. I'm just kind of giving you what's going on in behind-the-scenes world of Ash on Comics, and just kind of why I was feeling... like I was like, oh, it's like 2 comics came out today spoiler, 2 comics. And on top of that, I'm just not feeling it. Like, most people don't associate with me because I don't regurgitate the things that they want to hear. I don't reflect their echo chamber. So admittedly, I'm an argumentative person by nature. And that's a tough thing to deal with. It's because, for 2 reasons. Number one is I don't just accept everything at face value. If you present something to me, I may argue it because I need you to convince me. I'm not just, oh, well, you said so, so therefore, if I'm going to embrace this idea, it needs to at least pass the arguments. The other reason I argue a lot is because I believe in giving everything a fair shake. So many people love to argue just one side of things and not give the fairness that's due. And it drives me bananas. It's a huge pet peeve. And I end up opening my mouth and just being like, well, to be fair, this other side, shut up, Ash. We don't want to hear with a fair. We just want to bitch about the things that we hate. Oh, okay, sorry. Or it goes to just like, oh, there's Ash again. We can't hate a comic book if he likes it. Or vice versa. Oh, if Ash hates a comic book, we all gotta hate it too. And it's just like, no, I'm just very expressive of my views, and if your view is different than mine, sell me on it, right? In the end of the day, it's just opinions, right? My views on comics are my opinion. I don't think they need to be your opinion, but I do believe my opinion has merit, and I do like to persuade people to see my point of view. And the reason I do that is not out of ego, but it's because that's how I am. And it's human nature to believe or think that other people think and act the way that we do. It's called projection. And I project sometimes on myself. I want to be convinced. I want to be persuaded of a point of view, so I feel like other people want that too, and they don't. Anyways, I'm blabbing about a lot of stuff that you really don't care about. Probably. I don't know. But this is my channel. This is my opportunity to... What the heck? Is there a bug on my box here? No, it's gone. He disappeared. I just wanted to kind of get this off my chest. Use this channel. That's what the point of this channel is for, is to talk to you guys. Like I've said many times, like this is not an expert show analysis of comics. This is two guys talking shop in a comic book store, right? You and me. We meet at the comic book store. Hey, Ash, what's going on? What comics you pick up this week? Oh, I got these books. What's going on? What do you feel about what's happening here? Unfortunately, YouTube's not a two-way thing, but that we can remedy that, right? We got the comments. I got a Discord channel. You can talk to me on Twitter. There's ways that we can interact. I've met quite a few good people just by having this channel and by having a Twitter presence. And that's what I love. That's why I do it. I don't make any money off this. My channel's not a big thing. It's never going to be a big thing. I'm not some sort of star. I'm a schmo like the rest of you guys. Well, I'm assuming you might be a star. I don't know. I don't know who's listening. But I'm just a guy who loves comics, and I want to share my passion. And sometimes those passions and those things are a little bit downer. And that's where I'm coming from this week. So today was a lazy comic book day, and I got home. I don't even know what time it is. It's probably like around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've eaten my burger, got a full belly, and now we're going to talk about some comics. But before we do that, we got the first segment to get onto, which is Marvel versus DC. Let's get onto it. Marvel versus DC. This is a segment I really just enjoy doing. It's kind of my own thing. Hopefully you get some enjoyment out of it too. It's still a little bit in the works, but I'm getting some. Each week I do this, I kind of get a little bit of refinement in like how I want to do it. The next thing I want to do is include the Comic-Con actual shipping numbers. I think that would be really cool. But let's get on with this segment and waste no further time. The first part is the Marvel vs. DC digital sales. These are the sales calculated by Comixology. Makes it very easy because they publish their sales. Not the sales numbers themselves, but the order. And I feel like this is a very telling thing because digital comics have no intrinsic value. Something a lot of people don't understand, especially if you're just a comic reader, if you're not a collector yourself, but majority of comic sales go to people who collect. If you go to YouTube and search comic book channels, the majority of comic book channels are all about collectability, key issues, speculation, all this sort of stuff. I don't do that stuff. I appreciate it. I used to speculate. I think it can be fun. I have no disrespect to anyone who does. It's just not for me anymore. Like I want to read comics, and so I focus on just the medium and the art form. I absolutely recognize that the collectability portion is there, and part of the reason I do like buying the comics I do like collecting them. I just don't speculate. I collect them, and maybe in 10 years something I'll get lucky and some of them will be valuable. That's great. I treat all my comics as if they're valuable. But the digital sales have no intrinsic value. So you can justify spending $3.99 for a comic book when it holds that price, when you realize, I can turn around and sell the book for approximately $3.99, get my money back, it's a hassle, but you can do it. Even if you sell it for $2, you get some of your money back. But if you buy a digital book, all bets are off. It's like buying a movie ticket. You got nothing to show for it except for that minute of entertainment. And even on Comixology, in most digital places, like, you don't actually own the comics. If Comixology were to go bankrupt and go away, you would lose all your books. So I'm not going to ramble on that anymore. I just find it very interesting because this is what people are paying money purely to read. No collectability, no speculation, no multi-covers. I got to collect all 5 different covers, inflating the sales. None of that. It's just people forking over their money to read a comic. Let's get on with it. Number 10, Star Wars, number 73. Star Wars in the top 10. Wow. Is it because the series is ending? Is it because the new Star Wars movie is about to come out and now Star Wars is on people's mind again? I don't know. I don't know why, but people are interested in Star Wars again. It can't be Greg Pak. Like, he's not a big draw. But there you go. Star Wars number 10. Or number 73 is number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Detective Comics 1014 by Tomasi Monkey. I actually do videos on this book. I haven't done this issue in particular yet, but the previous 2 issues, this is part 3 of an arc, have been really good. If you're curious about this book, please check those videos out. This is a recommended book for people who are Batman fans. It's a very well done book. Check it out. Coming in number 8, Amazing Spider-Man number 32. Now, I just want to talk about Gleason here real quick. So Gleason came over to Marvel. He's doing covers. He's a fine artist. I really liked him on Superman. He was a great Superman artist. He's not so great, though, that I just go, oh, look at this amazing cover. It's good, solid, but whatever. But I don't know. Kind of was hoping for more with Patrick Gleason coming to Marvel than just some random covers. But this made the list. Amazing Spider-Man usually makes the list. I don't know if 2099 is drawing anything or not. So coming in at number 7 is Avengers 25. Ooh, it's a landmark issue. Not only is it 25, it's legacy number 725, which is a bigger landmark. These days, I don't know, 25 is a pretty big landmark to hit with with anything at Marvel Comics. Oh, so sad. They should just leave the numbering. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that here. You come here for the top 10. This is number 6 on the list, Batman Curse of the White Knight. Number 4, I did videos on the first 3 issues. This is a phenomenal book. It's rivaling the first White Knight series, which is one of the best Batman comics I ever read. It's definitely probably the best Batman comic I have read as a series since I've been back into comics, coming back in 2018. I can't recommend this book highly enough. I love it. Absolutely love it. And Sean Murphy may be leaving DC and mainstream comics, so this might be your last opportunity to get that, or to get his work in mainstream comics. Coming in at number 5, for the life of me, I can't believe this. If this was a hard copy list, I could understand it because, it's Naomi. People are speculating, she might be taking over Action Comics. There's some, I don't know. But this, again, because it's digital, none of that matters. But here we go. It's number 5. Number 5 is Action Comics. This was a dog shit issue. This was terrible. I did a video on it if you're curious. If you've read it yourself, you should know. This is utterly this is a joke of a comic. This, anyone could have wrote this comic. It's so nothing. But I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get this. But it's Brian Michael Bendis, and people love them some Bendis. Coming in number 4, King Thor. Now, this sort of doesn't surprise me because it's Asad Ribic art. And Asad Ribic did that famous God of Thunder series that when Jason Aaron started out when doing Thor, and it's beautiful art. Absolutely beautiful. This cover is not... This is not a good cover to me. The colors are washed out, and yeah. But I could see people wanting to relive that. Jason Aaron completely ruined Thor for me, so I don't have any interest in this. But yeah, it's number 4 on the list. Now, number 3 on the list, Immortal Hulk 25. Here is a landmark issue, 742. Oh, what do you want to bet when it gets Legacy 750? They're going to capitalize on that as a landmark. So now with this whole alternate numbering thing, they can actually do landmarks twice. It'll be historic 750th issue, right? And then when it gets to 50, it'll be historic 50th issue. So stupid. Wes on Thinking Critical did a review of this. He likes Immortal Hulk. He wasn't happy with this. But, it's been a popular series for Marvel. It's been bouncing around between number 1 and number 2 for their sellers, which is really impressive for a Hulk book, to be honest. So I'm curious. I'm kind of curious to know what's going on with the story, but it's not a book for me. So, but if you're reading it, tell me what you think. Apparently, it's still popular with readers. Coming in at number 2, Batman Superman. This has been a book I have been promoting and pushing to people. This is a really fun comic book. It's not out of this world. It's not the best comic you've ever read, but it's really good. This is the kind you're happy to spend your money on. This is the kind of comic you're happy is on your pull list, and you read it, and you're like, yeah, cool, I can't wait to read the next issue. If you're worried about this cover, I saw some chatter around the social media verse. People are like, oh, I'm done now with this. DC's finally ruined Superman. This cover is misleading. Superman is not ruined, okay? Josh Williamson, who wrote this, he's the guy who's been writing Flash for 80 plus issues. He's solid. He understands DC Comics. He's a good writer. He doesn't mess with things. He treats the characters with respect. And yeah, this is a good book. If you like Batman and Superman and you don't like what Tom King and Brian Michael Bendis are doing, you like more of the Scott Snyder thing, this is probably a book for you to check out. And finally, at number 1 is, of course, this Marauders number 1. It's a number 1 issue, so number 1s always get more attention. It's an X book, and X books have never been hotter, probably in the past decade. Hickman has really revitalized this franchise. I'm not completely sold. You can see my videos on X-Men number 1 as well as this issue, Marauders number 1. I really did like House of X and Powers of 10. It's phenomenal. It is one of the best X-Men stories I've ever read. That's that well done. But it does do some things that leave me questioning. And I don't necessarily like the direction that the ongoing series are going. And I don't think Gary Duggan here wrote a very good book. But it's a number 1 and people don't know. So I'm assuming this book's going to be a top seller for at least a few issues. And then it's going to have to, succeed on its own merit. Because Marvel is about to dump a crap ton of X books your way. And these are bi-weekly. So you got to buy these twice a month. So $4 and $5 books twice a month, 6 in phase 1, 3 more in phase 2, and I believe they announced 2 more in phase 3. So you're looking at 10, potentially around 10, 11 books. If they're all bi-weekly at $4 minimum, $80, $90 a month just on your X books, yeah, it's not going to swing. Marvel is really just slitting their throat with this. Like, just make X-Men, make an X-Force, make a Wolverine, done, right? Push those for a year. Make them really good. Get your best writers. Hickman writes 2 books. Get a solid guy to partner up and write maybe the 3rd book. Get those books all over 100,000 sales. And when you're doing that, launch a 4th book. Hey guys, you all love these books. Great. We're going to give you a 4th one. And people can Okay, I can fit a fourth book in there. And then they get invested and they're buying them. It's great. And then once that goes for a while, so you can then get a fifth book if you can. But don't just flood and barf out all these books because people can't afford them. I can't afford them. I'm not going to buy all these books. But hey, watch my video on Marauders. Tell me if you think the same. That is the top 10. Here is the overview again for those of you that just want to see. And let's move on to the next segment. Oh, before we move on to the next segment, I forgot. Here's the calculation. Marvel wins 6-4 in the digital sales. DC used to dominate the top 10. Marvel has better sales in general because they sell so many more comics. DC focused on quality over quantity. That's slipping under the Didio Bendis era. It's slipping pretty bad, and it's starting to show. Now we've got Marvel versus DC, new number ones. Starting it off is Excalibur number 1. That's this week. That's today. Excalibur number 1 came out today. You can get this book for $5. This cover is hideous to me. I don't know why it's so pink. It's just awful. Remember when comics used to be for boys? Like, I never wanted to exclude girls, but now I feel like comics are trying to exclude boys. But whatever. It's Excalibur. I used to love this. Is not recognizable Excalibur to me. But hey, Marvel's in the lead, 1-0. This will set you back $5. Next, we have Joker, Killer Smile. So DC gets on the list. It's 1-1. This will set you back $6. I flipped through it. I like Jeff Lemire for the most part. I just don't care about Joker. I don't want to see Joker stories. I like him as a villain. I don't want to read stories about him. I don't want to see him flooding the market. There's this Joker overkill right now. So I passed. This book will set you back $6. Oh, and it's magazine format too, and I hate that. I don't know. Whatever. Next on the list is Tales from the Dark Multiverse, The Death of Superman. So these are a series of one-shots that DC's doing to capitalize on their Tales of the Dark Multiverse. This is a number 1. You got to get it right. Number 1s are worth everything. So these stories are sort of like the Dark Multiverse versions. In the Dark Multiverse, things happen differently. It's just kind of like the Earth 2 or 3 or all that. But instead of just being, those are positive multiverse, this is sort of like the negative multiverse where it's not supposed to exist. It's supposed to be recycled. Anyways, you got to read Metal to understand. But it presents some interesting stories because these characters are flawed and they're not the heroes that we know. They'll break down. And so it creates sort of this darker horror element that is an interesting take. I'm okay with doing this for a short time just to kind of like, hey, what if, I just don't care about these number 1s. And, it's going to set you back $6. So, hey, it's a number 1. And you remember Death of Superman, right? The original Death of Supermans, those are worth a ton now. Remember, if only you had been there on the Death of Superman, right? Oh. Now, next is Basket Full of Heads by Joe Hill. Joe Hill is famous for Lock and Key, and he's got a new number 1. You got to get it because remember Lock and Key? Oh, man, if you had a Lock and Key number 1, whew. Hey, this book only set you back $4. But DC is leading. Man, DC is smacking Marvel around saying, oh, you thought you were the king of number 1s? Well, we're going to take over. We're going to be the company of number 1s now. DC leads it 1-3. One Marvel, 3 DC. Next, we've got Hellblazer because, they canceled Constantine in the DC Rebirth because reasons. Now they're bringing him back into Vertigo, except they canceled Vertigo because reasons. So now it's part of the Sandman universe, which was Vertigo, which is now Black Label, because DC decided it was too confusing. Vertigo confused people. Really, for 30 years, it's the greatest imprint of any mainstream comic company, no one was confused. Everyone understand Hellblazer, Vertigo goes together. Now it's confusing as hell. Now we don't understand. But whatever. So now we've got Sandman Universe imprint. Why didn't you just make Vertigo an imprint under Black Label? No one knows. No one knows. Their explanation was stupid. But hey, now you can own a new Hellblazer #1. I don't know how many times Hellblazer's been rebooted, but that doesn't matter because every time there's a #1, you should be getting it and investing. This one will set you back $5 because remember, these #1s will always get an extra $1. There's extra sales. It's always about gimmicks. DC is in the lead 1-4 now. And DC is just continuing on, just pounding, running up the score on Marvel with The Last God, book 1 of the Fellspire Chronicles. Now, this is a very interesting book in my sense because we were just talking about imprints and being confusing. How DC, this one doesn't even have an imprint. It doesn't say DC, doesn't say Black Label. I don't know what this is. This is just... It's produced by DC or published by DC without a... Didio is such an idiot. Anyways, this book will also set you back $5, and DC is strongly in the lead, 1-5, just smacking Marvel around with the #1s. But Marvel, not to be outdone, seeing DC's great success with Deceased, which itself was a copy of Marvel Zombies, has prompted Marvel to quickly say, oh, we should bring back Marvel Zombies a third time because nothing sells like zombies. This one will set you back $5. But hey, remember Marvel Zombies? Those, if you had Marvel Zombies in your collection, you'd be really well off. You might be able to buy an In-N-Out burger. This will set you back $5. Next, Red Goblin, Red Death, #1. Because everyone was just clamoring for a Red Goblin book, I guess. I don't understand, but Marvel knows they can cash in on a #1 here. So Marvel's 3-5. They're making a game. They're saying, hey, DC. Oh my goodness, dog. Sorry about that. Dogs just love to interfere. They don't understand quiet on the set. Anyways, Red Goblin, make sure you get this. Fork over the $5 so that you can cry later when you see it in the dollar bin. Next, we've got Fantastic Four Grand Design. Now, this is something I'm probably going to pick up digitally. On the X-Men books, they did like a collected volume you could buy digitally for cheaper. I really like that. This will be great for me. I did the X-Men just because I'm an X-Men fan, but this is something that'll help me because I've never really was a Fantastic Four fan growing up, and being able to get a concise sort of history the way they did the Grand Design, this will really help get me up to speed with the characters. So I like this idea. I think Marvel's probably going to overdo it. We're going to probably see Avengers Grand Design, Spiderman Grand Design. They're probably going to do everything with it going forward. But hey, this is one of the early ones, so get it while it's hot. This will set you back $6. Marvel is catching up. It's now 4-5. I can't control my screen. Next, we've got Aquaman 100-page giant. DC says we're not going to be outdone. Okay, we got this. For $5, we got some reprint material, some new stories. This counts as a #1 because it has a #1 on the cover, and it has new material. This will set you back $5. DC is putting the game away now. It's now 4-6, and they don't just got one giant book. They've got 2. They somehow figured out they're going to release Ghosts, 100-page Ghost giant. So for $5 more, you can get some ghostly adventures right in time for Halloween. My guess is this will probably be a one-shot, unlike the other ones, but who knows? DC does have, their spectral characters like the Spectre here. Got John Constantine. So, I don't know. DC takes the lead, cements it. That's the final score, 4-7. DC wins 3 out of the last 4 weeks that I've been doing this. Marvel, I didn't even used to count DC because Marvel was so firmly entrenched at just number ones all the time, pushing that. And then eventually DC got a whiff of what was going on across the street and said, oh, wait, we could do that too. That's what DC does. They always just copy Marvel. The problem is they copy all the mistakes. So this week, Marvel had 22 new comics on the stands. 22, even on a slow week. DC had conversely only 14 comics. And it makes about sense. They publish about 2/3 what Marvel does. But when you calculate the variants and the reprints, alternate covers, Marvel has a total of 67 versions of their comics, while DC only has 22. So if you're a completionist, like some of these whales that come into the stores and they just buy every cover of everything, if you're Marvel, you're getting 67 books just this week, which is down from over 100 last week. So I guess that's good. Marvel's, if you just want the number ones, you're going to pay $21. DC is going to cost you $36. And if you're a total completionist, you just buy all the number ones, well, you're going to be spending $57 this week, added on top of whatever your pull list is. Wow. Congrats, DC, for beating Marvel 3 out of 4 times with your janky gimmicks and watching your market share just completely flush down the toilet in the process. All right, thanks for watching that segment. Let's get on to the actual comic books, the things you care about, and let's wrap the show up, right? Because you got things to do, I'm assuming. Or maybe you just want to watch YouTube all day. I don't know. I'm not judging. And without further ado, it is time to get on to the comic book pull list. As always, remember, kids, show your receipts. This is a weak pull this week. $11.08. So I got some freebies. I got an extra pack of this from last week's thing. Always check your comic book shop if they have like freebie section. You can find some cool stuff. I like these cards. I wouldn't really buy the cards, but they're free. That's cool. Then they have these like little card, like postcard. I don't know what these are really for. They're supposed to just, I guess, put them in your bag. My store just puts like a box near the door, and you just kind of pilfer through it. Yeah, I don't think they did a launch party either. But I kind of like getting these sometimes. Even though I hated this cover, I do want to be a fan of X-Men. No, Stan, don't. Oh, man, I mistreated Stan. Oh, God, fans are going to kill me. And then this, I love the art on this. Absolute Carnage. I'm very much happy with. So I just like picking that junk up. It's free. I could throw it away, I guess, if I need to. And then they've got the Marvel free previews thing. Just like flipping through that. It's a good bathroom read. I'm looking forward to the Thor. So thank you, Marvel, for making me cancel Guardians of the Galaxy. This is because I guess I can make room for Thor now because you're idiots. Instead of continuing Guardians of the Galaxy and getting more money from me, you're just trading money from one thing to another, whatever. So starting off the week, because it was slow, I picked up a back issue. I've been meaning to pick this up. Every week I go to the store, I forget. But I've been saying I was going to pick it up, and I did find a copy of Spectacular Spider-Man 310. My boy Wes from Thinking Critical says this is the best comic of the year, or maybe was it last year? Whatever. He loved it. So many people love this comic, saying, Ash, this is the best, so good. If you like Chip Zdarsky, I'm like, all right. I'm going to find this book. And yeah, you can see on there, it's $4.25. Everyone told me, yeah, good luck finding it. And I was like, oh man, it's going to be some chase, issue. It's worth a lot of money, I guess. I don't know. So I went to my store and they had 2 other copies too of the variant cover, also for $4.25. This was the only one of that cover. So speaking of Chip Zdarsky, this is not Chip Zdarsky. This is my boy Donny Cates, and I'm collecting Venom number 19. Look, I understand you can't get Ryan Stegman to do the art anymore. It's a shame because he's in Absolute Carnage, which essentially is a Venom comic. But get this guy. What's his name? Hots. He's doing the covers. He was perfect. He would be a perfect Venom artist. Kyle Hotz. But what are you going to do? And then also Donny Cates. This is the week of Donny Cates. We got Silver Surfer Black. I am looking so forward to reading this book. Holy shit. This is the book that got me back into mainstream continuity Marvel. And there it is. So that's it. 2 books this week. What do you think is going to be the best? Is it going to be Silver Surfer? Or is it going to be Venom? Or is it going to be the back issue that I bought? I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be Silver Surfer. That's Stan's creation. He's going to stick by it. Forky, you got to pick something. It sucks if Forky's got to pick Venom book. But that's the way that it goes. Because I try not to buy shit books. So Forky's got to pick something. That's my week this week. What did you pick up? Was it a slow week for you as well? Tell me about it. Tell me about the books you're excited for. Tell me what I'm missing out on. And look me up on Twitter. Join the Discord if you want. Put your thoughts and opinions below. Share your comic pull lists. All that sort of stuff. And if you have any questions, I didn't have any mailbag stuff for this week, but I look forward to reading your comments and maybe having some good topics for the show. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.